In this video, I'm going to answer and explain in just a few minutes one of the most commonly asked questions by believers and non-believers, and that is, who created God? I'll start off by giving the short answer, and that is that nobody created God. No person or thing is responsible for creating him. He always existed and always will exist, and on face value, the answer is as simple as that. As Christians, we know this because the Bible teaches us that God is uncreated and is eternal in his being. And this also makes perfect sense. I will share just 3 of the most important verses on this topic with you to help you get a better understanding. So the first is Psalm 92, which reads, "Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever you had formed the earth and the world, from everlasting to everlasting, you are God." And Isaiah 57:15, which reads, "For thus says the one who is high and lifted up, who inhabits eternity." And finally, 1 Timothy 1:17, which reads, "To the King of ages, immortal, invisible, the only God, be honor and glory forever and ever. Amen." So according to the Bible, nobody created God. He has always existed and always will exist. He has existed from everlasting. I also want to explain why it's more logical to believe in an uncreated creator than a created one. So for anyone who is struggling to come to terms with God not having a beginning or having always existed, I always explain to them that it's simply more logical to believe in an uncreated creator than a created one. Because if God had a creator who brought him into existence, then we would ask, who created that God? And does the God who created God have a creator too? Was there someone or something who made him? This line of questioning can go on and on. It's infinite. So you can simply say to anyone who rejects the possibility of an uncreated creator that they are stuck in an infinite loop of creators creating creators, which is absurd. So how did the universe come into existence? I know that a lot of people watching this video, especially non-believers, are going to be thinking, well, how did the universe come into existence then? Well, we know that the universe can't be eternal, since science tells us that the universe is always expanding. So if you wind back the clock, there will have been a point where the universe didn't exist. So it had a beginning, and therefore that means it is not eternal. Yet this contradicts what a lot of atheists typically say about the universe. They say the universe is uncreated and eternal in its existence. Or they believe in the Big Bang Theory, which again would raise the question of where the materials that created the Big Bang came from, or the materials that created the materials. The bottom line is that someone or something has to be eternal. Otherwise, if everything needs a cause, there will always be an infinite number of events behind that cause. So in conclusion, the short answer to the question of who created God is nobody. God is eternal, and we know the universe isn't eternal because science proves that. And we know that God is eternal because the Bible teaches us this. And in addition, it's the only logical explanation.